Hey, good morning, or whenever you get to watch this. Maddie and I got together. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Birgitte Young, also go by B, and we're doing this Wing Sister episode to introduce some of our Wing Sisters and also to have more sense of a community and getting to know people and each other. So, Maddie, we met a few years ago, and it's been so great getting to know you. Thank you so much for taking your time and hopping on here and doing this for our community. And so, besides winging, I know you have a lot of cool stuff you do, and we want to know a little bit more about you. So, take it away.
Thanks for having me, Birgitta. It's so nice that you're doing these interviews. I've watched some of the other ones, and it's great. It's great. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so my name's Maddie. Madeleine is my full name, and people call me Madeleine. People call me Maddie. And yeah, so I live here in Fairfax, and I moved a zillion years ago from the Midwest. I'm from Indiana originally, the landlocked state. There wasn't much wind and water sport going on there, but I've got a lot of different things that I do, winging being one of them. But I I'm sure we'll get to all these questions eventually. But I play music, and I love to wing, and I love water sports and running and swimming and all kinds of stuff. So
So, like, I have a feeling with the music that you must be a pretty creative soul.
oh, you're sweet. Well, I enjoy it. I've played music my whole life, and so yeah, it's a big part of me, and
Yeah.
um,
And you play at different venues and at different places. I have yet to make it because we live a couple of hours apart and for whatever reason, but I definitely want to do that one day. And it's so cool that you're doing that.
oh, we have fun with it. I have a little band, and I play a bunch of things solo, and all that stuff. So it's we have a really really good time with it. So
Yeah, so if you're not following Maddie on social media, you should because you don't want to. We definitely want to make it to at least one of those very soon.
oh, you're
Very-
sweet. You're sweet. Can I
Yeah,
share? I'm going to share the website address in case anybody wants
yeah,
to.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you
it's
can.
MadeleineKingMusic.com. Madeline with three E's. MadeleineKing music.com. But anyway, I know that's not why you have me here.
Well, I think that we can. I think we're created to with certain talents and loves for different things, and that when we use those talents, we can bless other people.
Yeah,
So this, I mean, actually knowing how to find you and find your work is can be really wonderful for a lot of us. So we want to make sure we put that link underneath the video too, and
great.
we'll make sure that you get to it.
Great. It's actually been really cool because a lot of our wing sisters out there have come to gigs now and then, and it's super fun to have the water community be able to come together in spots. And anyway, yeah,
Yeah, that's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you do in life? You're some. I'm thinking you're an artist, singer, musician, winger. Let's see, semi-retired.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us more.
Oh, well, I was a music teacher for 35 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I taught little kids music, which was great. And I retired from that in 2020, right when the pandemic hit.
Nice.
And so I'm retired from my job, which has been great. I'm kind of like, how did I ever have time to work? I'm busier now than I've ever been. But yeah, I spent a lot of time doing my outdoor sporting things. I spent a lot of time on the water. Winging's been an amazing thing. I actually found winging right when I retired, so that was kind of perfect. It it filled the obsession, filled all those hours easily. Um, but yeah, so I do a lot of different things, but I really spend the bulk of my time out on the water and playing music, honestly.
Yeah. So
So
how did you learn about wing foiling? I'm curious.
you know, I saw somebody doing it somewhere, and I can't frankly remember where I saw it. I might have seen it in a magazine or on the water. I can't remember, but I remember seeing somebody doing it and thinking, I've got to do that. That looks crazy fun.
That's exactly what I thought too.
Yeah,
And people actually have lots of different stories on this, but
yeah.
yeah, that was me.
Oh, yeah, right. It's just like that looks like something I need to do. So
Awesome.
I had been a windsurfer a little tiny bit back in the day, a bunch of years ago, and so there was a little bit of wind background for me, and definitely water background. So it looked like something that would be fun to learn.
Yeah. What other water sports?
Well, I was doing a lot of stand-up paddling and racing a lot. And,
Oh,
before the pandemic, the paddle races were even more. That was it was kind of a bigger thing then. I mean, it's still
yeah.
happening now, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of people from the stand-up paddling world are still doing it, and a lot of people also have moved on to other things like outrigger and foiling and whatnot. But
Mhm.
but yeah, I was really big into paddling and paddle racing, and I've always been into the water, whether it was that or a little bit of windsurfing or swimming. I love to swim as well, and so the water was kind of a natural draw. And where we live, it's like there's, unlike Indiana
Yeah.
where I grew up, there's a lot of water
So
here.
so tell everyone where you live because I we have people actually from all over the world in Wing Sisters and I they may not know the the
Where I am.
specifics.
Yeah. So I live in a town called Fairfax, which is in Marin County, which is just north of San Francisco. And it's probably about 30 plus minutes from San Francisco here. And
Mhm.
Fairfax is kind of a little, they call it Mayberry on acid.
What's that?
They call it Mayberry on acid, meaning like a small town with a hippie vibe. It's like,
I
it's
love it.
it's very woodsy, and like I live back in a canyon, and it's the town is a sweet little small town where kind of
Uh-huh.
everybody knows each other, and I'm kind of equidistant from the coast and the city. um
Nice.
so it's a sweet place. It's a really
Yeah.
sweet place. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. So,
yeah.
what are some of your favorite wing spots that you either have been to one time and far away or something closer by that you visit regularly?
Yeah. Well, locally, I have kind of regular spots locally. I mean, I go to Crissy Field a lot. I go to San Quentin. San Quentin, which is Larkspur, is
Uh-huh.
is like the closest spot for me.
Yeah, I have
There's
yet to visit that one. I've
Yeah, it's
seen it like when I drove by going somewhere else. I'm like, oh, that's right. I want to see that. I want to go
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's a good spot. And as with most spots, there's a regular crew in all these spots, right? So
Yeah.
there's kind of the San Quentin regulars, but that's a spot I go to a lot because it's close. And Marina Bay in the East Bay is a wonderful spot too,
Mhm.
um, and uh, other places, of course, as well. Bolinas, which even though it's known mostly for surfing, when the wind's up there, I've only been there winging a handful of times, but it's really special. It's a little tough because the way the land wraps around it, it's kind of
Yeah.
eyes on the inside, and you have to get yourself to the wind line. But anyway, that's a fun spot. And I spent a lot of time in Michigan. Growing up in Indiana, I went to Michigan in the summers, and I still go every summer.
Hmm.
And Lake Michigan is amazing for winging. Uh,
Oh, it is. We
just
have
incredible.
to. I don't know if we have any wing sisters from Michigan, but I sure would love to
Oh,
find them.
yeah.
And I feel like people from the Midwest just have a like there's just something about them that is very I don't want to I was going to say different in a very good way.
That's nice of
But
you. We're definitely different.
I there's some moving here from Norway where like there's lots of smaller communities. I feel like there were some a little bit of flakiness in this area, maybe because it's bigger metropolitan. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but there was more of it than I was used to. But it seems like anytime I meet someone from the Midwest, they just have that like that great vibe.
Oh, that's sweet. It is.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know whatever you call it, but we definitely, I'm folks from the Midwest. We also like, we recognize the Midwest in each other. That sounds a little odd, but
Yeah.
there's always some kind of connection when you meet somebody else from the Midwest. And I got to tell you, we probably have talked about this before, but I have Norwegian roots as well. Did we ever talk about that?
I don't
I
know. I don't know if
my
we have, but it doesn't surprise me. You look Scandinavian, so
well my
you
my
look more
grandmother.
Scandinavian than me.
Oh, I don't know about that. My grandmother was Norwegian, my mom's mom, and
Oh,
so
that's so great.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
But
Um,
but yeah, then the other place I wanted to mention is Maui. Um, that's
yes.
I have a spot in Maui, and that's a great place to wing as well, of course, as you can imagine. So
Yes, we got to get some of those Maui Wing sisters on here too. I want to hear more. I mean I have done water sports there, but I actually haven't been there since I started winging. So
oh, you'll love it.
I
You'll
have a
love it.
lot to look forward to.
Yeah, you
I
do.
know.
There's some really good spots there for sure.
So, how does being on the water make you feel? Like,
Ah,
what's the
great.
best part?
It's I'm sure everybody can relate, but it kind of just takes you out of wherever you are and puts you in the moment. I remember rock climbing was that way too. I was big into rock climbing for a while, and it's one of the winging is the same thing. It's just, and being on the water, it's just it's you're present. You can't help but be present in the moment, and all of your cares and whatnot kind of wash away. It's just right. I mean, it's just like,
Wonderful.
yeah, yeah. It's there's nothing quite like it. It's just it's all encompassing, and it's just, and being in the ocean specifically, right?
Yeah.
It's it's just wonderful. It's special.
Yes, I feel like there's a difference there too with
Yeah.
like
What's funny?
fresh
It's
water, salt water.
um the I spend a lot of time in the salt water, but then when I go to Michigan, of course, it's a freshwater lake.
Hmm.
And it's funny because every time when I go winging in Michigan, when the first day when I'm out and I fall, of course, I forget that as I'm sinking, I forget, oh yeah, it's not salt water. It's so funny, to go,
Yeah, you don't have the same buoyancy.
oh no, not at
Yeah.
all. Now you kind of forget until you're like, 6 feet underwater. It's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Fun.
Yeah.
Um, so what's your consistency level, would you say, for getting on the water, and what might be getting in the way, if anything?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't let much get in the way.
Good for you.
I mean, now that I'm retired from my job, I don't have, I'm spoiled that way. I can get out a lot.
Mhm.
The music I play in rehearsals and whatnot, that, that takes me from the water sometimes, but I consider that's fine. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty consistent about getting out when it's windy. Like my house, call it the tree house because it's kind of like there's windows and trees outside and all that.
Oh,
I'm up high, and when the wind blows, there's leaves blowing all around, and I'm just, how it is as a wind person. You're like, I gotta go, so I gotta go right now. So I'm
yeah.
pretty, I'm out in the wind
Yeah,
a
we have
lot.
chimes and trees and stuff like that. There are lots of good signs when you need it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think, that having rehearsals and whatnot for music is probably good for me because it keeps me a little better balanced.
I
So,
hear you.
yeah.
So, if you had a magic wand, how would your date look like? Or maybe it already looks like that. Or what would you do more or less of?
Yeah, I feel like I already have the magic wand, you know. Bing. I mean, I'm
Wonderful.
spoiled. I'm fortunate. I'm really fortunate that um, yeah, I've got a lot of, um, what do you want to say? I've got the
A
good
good
fortune
set
of being
code.
able to do what I want a
Yeah.
lot of the time. So, my days are. I mean, I love days when I can go out and have multi-sport days. I mean, to be
Mhm.
honest, I love my cardio things that I do. Is I swim and run regularly, and that's a day when I can do those things and go winging. I mean, a triple day. The triple days are my favorite, to be honest. Like that's a good day. A run, a swim, and a wing. Yes,
Yeah, maybe we'll have a new kind of triathlon. It has wing, it has that all those in it.
right,
Who
right.
knows, right? There's so many new things coming.
Yeah,
So understanding the nature of the sport, I was going to ask you how you've adjusted, but it almost feels like the adjustment came and you just like fell into it. The winging came at the perfect time. Uh,
yes.
and th
I'm
there's
sorry.
a lot to
I have to pause you 1 second because there's someone at my door. Can you hang on?
no
I'm just gonna.
problem.
I'm just gonna. Hey, Rick. Sorry, I'm gonna just
No,
do this. I'm
no
on the
worries.
Zoom. Thanks. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Um,
We have real life. It's awesome.
yeah. Anyway,
When my mom got older and everyone moved out of the house, she said, I'm leaving something intentionally on the counters because I want to look like something. I want to remind myself that something's actually happening here. So
yeah.
have little things pop up. I think it's just the blessings of
Right.
life.
Yeah, sorry. My friend was just returning a microphone I loaned to him, and I'm like, I'm in here. I'm busy. Anyway, so you were
All right.
asking something. You were going to say something.
Yeah, no. In a I think you already answered the question of where you'd be, where the things you've changed in your life that just I call that progression huge blessings.
Mm,
And it's wonderful. I think there's a time for everything in our life, and sometimes it's just time to be blessed and enjoy what you have. And
yeah.
you're still, out there giving to others so much. I see you do
Mm,
that. And
mm.
that is part of it, why I think you can be happy where you're at,
Yes.
without being too busy with the things that um, most people are busy about and not happy about.
Yeah.
It's you're in a good spot, and it's awesome.
Thank
Um,
you.
so so what are some of your favorite takeaways from being in the water sport community?
Well, first of all, thank you for those comments, and I want to just get back to you and thank you for all that you've done. I mean, you've created this whole Wing Sisters community, which is amazing, and doing these interviews and all the stuff you do. It's been really great. So thank you for all that you do. Um,
My pleasure.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, Takeaways from the water community. I, I've never quite experienced a community quite like this. Actually, when I was paddling and paddle racing, that was also like there's a tribe, that it's just wonderful. There's a real sense of community, and that was a friendly competition. It was everybody was supporting everybody, and that really transferred into the wing community for me.
Mhm.
Everybody's so supportive of each other and excited and stoked for each other to be learning new things. And the Wing Sisters community is really great because, as we all know, it's still a pretty darn male dominated sport.
Yeah, I don't know what the percentage is, but maybe 90% or
I
something
wouldn't
like
be
that?
surprised. And
Yeah.
depending on where you go, more or less, like in Maui, there's a lot of women doing it. And it's,
Mhm.
I see a lot more women doing it. In Michigan, I don't see anybody doing it, for one thing. I mean, that's not totally true, but I haven't met any other women. I'm sure they're out
Mhm.
there. But
Yeah.
anyway, so it's great that you've created this, because we are out there, we are doing it. But it's still it's a very male dominated sport. But I have to
Yeah.
say, the men that I've met doing winging, and the guys who are my buddies, my wing
Mhm.
buddies, have been great, right? And
Yeah.
they're just, you know it's a great community, men and women. And
Mhm. For sure.
but I'm really glad to have other women who are doing this, and supporting each other. It's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great.
That's what I saw when I started the sport, is that it was, you know, I wanted to have more women in it. We have we're really good at lifting each other up on a I think that and in the community we're better together. So I actually started it when I was on a paddleboard in a wing for like selfishly thinking I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to connect with more women. So
yeah.
so here we are. What is there anything you've learned with learning to wing foil that you feel like you transferred or can transfer into other parts of your life, or that have helped you in other parts of your life?
Yeah. Well,
So,
I'll tell you, one thing is, be it good or bad, I've learned how focused I can be on one thing. I mean, winging is pretty, I don't think I'm the only one who's pretty obsessed with it, and it's like, I mean, there aren't many things in my life that I do every day if I can,
yeah,
like what else do you do that you do every day, every
yeah,
single day if you can,
yeah,
So it's kind of reminded me, frankly, that I can be focused, super focused on something. Like,
yeah,
I tend to be somebody who's, you know, I, I've got a lot of different things going on, and I'm like, okay, so, I got to do this and I got to do that. And even playing music, even working on music things here at home,
yeah.
hard for me to sit and stay focused on it for a period of time before I'm like, oh, I better go make tea, or, oh, I better go check my email, or. But
I think we all feel that way to some extent.
yeah.
And I think because in this busy world with also with social media and our phones plinging and all that stuff, it's staying focused is harder than it ever was.
Oh, it's true.
But yeah, getting on the water, you have no choice but be focused. And so that's a great discovery because
Yeah.
you gotta, I think with anything important that we want to do is learning to feed our focus and I was going to say kill our distractions. That's probably a better word for it, but but
Yeah,
we
good.
kind of got to do some of that, right?
Well, it's true. It's really, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the phone is like such a, or, whether it's the phone or your laptop or whatever, but I
Yeah,
mean, the distractions are plenty, right? And so
right.
being on the water is just, that's what you're doing. You're in the moment.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank
so
you so much, Maddie, for your time. It was great to get to see you here over Zoom, and thank you.
thank you, Birgitte, so much.